Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been doing well. Today we are here for something pretty amazing. The Deities SSJ5 Goku, the AF version. Now, I do know that this is more or less based on the original Spirit Killer Tableau's design, but obviously they have stepped away from that. It's more in line with, I believe, what originally either Toyotaro or Young Gigi or whoever it was that made it SSJ5 Goku, right? So that's what this is. But yes, we will acknowledge the original Spirit Killer, but it is missing a few details there that you can notice right off the bat, which is the skin tone, the eyes, the earrings are not there. So those are the little bit of differences. But overall, I mean, it is just nice to have this in figure form. And, you know, we'll bring it up. I am going to be interested to see if the creator of Spirit Killer actually follows through with making an actual action figure. To my knowledge, that is something he's claimed to be doing. So we'll see. But for now, we have this on hand. So let's take a quick dive into this. So first things first, we got to talk about aesthetics and design, because not that long ago, I was just fiddling with this guy and I realized something. They did something really weird with his torso, the waist, and the whole peg system there. So I'm gonna quickly take it off, and you'll be kind of weirded out too. So look at this. I don't know what they're going for there. And here's the actual flip side of that. So usually they do a ball peg hole and a ball peg there, which I believe you can actually kind of make out if you lifted this up, which is a little bit hard to do right now, but there should be a ball peg under here. I don't know why they went this route with it. Personally, I don't really see it long lasting, if that makes sense, because this thing falls off. Like after I took it off the first time, it continues to just like fall off. And I would say that that's potentially, like really kind of poor design on it, but it still is functional, right? Like, so long as I'm not throwing it against the wall and I'm not holding it upside down, I mean, it works, but that is a little weird, right? And of course, the alternative to fixing that is I could just glue this piece back in there and it'll, I guess, solve my problems, because there's not really any extra articulation that I'm getting out of this. So I'm not really sure why they did it like that. But it does concern me, because I don't want the Goku Blacks to be like that. And actually just going forward, I don't really want that to happen like for any other figure that they do. Because you see, it's just annoying at that point. Like, it's going to keep falling off no matter what I do. So for the review, if you see me fiddling around with this, that is pretty much what's going on there. Additionally, you may have noticed the hair just falling off back there. The original SSJ5s were a lot more sturdier, if that makes sense. I had a harder time taking the hair off on the Golden SSJ5, Super Saiyan Rose SSJ5, and the original SSJ5 Goku. Those ones were like tough to even separate the hair. So I don't know what they did differently here when they were getting it into development and said, let's make it a little bit more loose maybe. I don't know. It's just comes off a lot easier than, oh wow, that both came off. A lot easier than I'm used to. So, yeah, kind of annoying, but I can get over it. But still, it's definitely not something you want to be dealing with every 5 minutes. So this is one of those figures that is more or less going to be a display piece and not really something that I'm posing around super often, which unfortunate, but that's kind of the nature of why I bought this one anyway, just for a collection. Besides that though, I mean, the guy is interestingly stable. One thing I've noticed in this release compared to, just for example, because I have them on hand, this original SSJ5s, they can stand up a lot better. The 3.0 legs are just that much better. Compared to the Kong SSJ3s as well, he is just 10 times more stable. The articulation with the ab crunch, torso area, it's not feeling like there's too much weight on it that it's going to fall off or he leans over. etc. So it looks like they got a better weight redistribution going on there, which absolutely I love. But besides that, yeah, there's not much else I want to say in terms of the design and kind of, I guess you could say, issues that I have with it. Briefly, because I have to talk about this. This is the head that will come in the packaging, and you will get these paws as well. This is their way of essentially avoiding the copyright, detection with Bandai, Toei, Shueisha, whoever. That's just kind of the nature of what's going on. Before, with the whole rebranding thing, there were threats of being reported and stuff like that. So naturally, they probably just wanted to take the proper precautions. Now, I will say, I don't want to see 3 boxes arrive in my house every single time, because that's just a lot. You could still package it in one single package like they were doing before, and I think that would be fine. So hopefully this is not a long-standing thing, because it's a little much. But without further ado, let's jump into his accessories. And actually, before we do that, there was one more thing that just came to mind that I want to address, because this is the biggest issue with this figure. It is such a pain to put this actual Super Saiyan 5 head on. It comes with this, like I said, so the peg should be the same size, right? No problem. But I've seen so many people struggling to put this on, and I mean, like, I've seen people literally squeezing and like clenching and just using all their muscles to try to get this head on there, and it just didn't work. Hot water, blow dryer, all of that, it just wasn't working. And for me, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I must have been one of the lucky few who was just able to get the head and snap it on, because I didn't have that problem. But before I had gotten the figure, I was nervous because I've seen everybody struggling to do it. So if you are thinking about buying it, or you have bought it and are waiting to get it, please use very hot water or a blow dryer and have some patience, because this thing, while it looks good, it's a little infuriating. But now let's get into the actual accessories. So first things first, we do have these crossed arms, and the thing that I noticed differently about these is that they actually have pegs in them. Usually I think that you peg the actual arms up there. I think I might have that wrong. It's been a while since I used crossed arms, but yeah, I've seen some people having an issue with breaking these as well. So I'm not even going to take the risk, but you can imagine how they look on the camera like that. There you go. So not too bad. This armband supposedly is a separate piece, so if you want to take it off, you can, but I don't really feel the need to do all that, but it can come off. But it is sculpted to be aligned with the ridges and stuff. This one is separate as well, so you can take it off if you want to. Alright, so out of the packaging, the first face that I do have is the smirking expression. We have a gritting teeth expression, and I will say these, you need to actually use some force to put these faceplates on as well. You can see that it's not fully put in, but I have to like literally yam it in for it to stay there. So I'm not trying to damage it, but just be wary of that. So you will need to really like push if you want it all the way in there. Here we have our yelling expression. And here we have our side looking down glance expression. And we have our fist hands. Here we have our fighting stance hands. Here we have a set of open palm hands. Here we have a different set of open palm hands. And here we have the key blast attachment hands. And lastly, we have our instant transmission hands. And you know what? Why not? Let's show the animal hands here. This is still wild to me. But yeah, let's get into the articulation of the figure, and then we'll give our closing thoughts. All right, so we're gonna do this a little bit differently than I usually do for the articulation segment, because like I showed in the beginning, this thing is not fully attached at the waist there, so it's gonna keep falling off, but here we go. So first things first, and I'm gonna take this off after I'm done with this just so it doesn't fall out. We do have articulation here in the hair. It can go, up and down a little bit, and then it's 2 segments. So you got a piece right here, you've got a piece right there. You can twist and turn, do as you please, and of course you can remove it. This comes off a lot easier, like I said, than they usually do, which is okay, but at the same time annoying, because I have to keep reinstalling it. And as for the neck articulation this time around, obviously that hair is going to be blocking any articulation you want for him looking up, so you can't really do anything there. Just push that back in. Looking down, and the faceplate's starting to come off a little bit there, but that is about as far down as you can go. And I will admit, the peg does seem a little stronger this time. I do think that the actual Super Saiyan 3 hairs were a little heavier, so they might have a little bit more leniency here since it's not super long and heavy, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's on a double ball peg, so he can do all the usual go around, and like I said, even with the hair, it holds these positions pretty well. And you can use the back of the hair to your aid and kind of have it resting on his shoulder a little bit there, and kind of help with support so it can hold itself up. Now I'm gonna leave that off of there because that's annoying. But you do have some articulation here with the, I don't know what to call these, side hairs, sideburn hair, I don't know what to call them, man. But they do have articulation as all the other ones have. Haven't had any issues with these. Usually they pop off fairly easy. I know that I've had that happen with this Goku Black countless times, so nice to not have that issue here. Our arm articulation is fairly well. Full T-pose. Can go a little bit higher than that, but of course you're gonna have to mess with the hair. The butterfly joint is actually not too bad. My right arm on this is actually a lot more stiffer, so I'm trying not to break it, but yeah, pretty good there. And then you have your bicep swivel there. Got your arm articulation, which nothing super crazy, but you can get into that kind of a little over 90 degrees. You've got your wrist swivel. This time around, these are not popping off, which is good. The Super Saiyan 3s had an issue where pegs were being pulled all the way out and not staying in, so good to see it's not happening here. Trying to get this back in. Alright, so you do have articulation right here in this upper torso joint, and of course when I put this back on here, you have the articulation there at the waist. It's on a ball peg there, but we know that this is in the way. Again, don't know why they did that, but yeah, articulation is nothing super crazy there. That's about as far forward as he can go, and that's about as far back as he can go. And then of course, yeah, it's gonna keep popping off. So with that, the legs, I could take this off. We're gonna leave him here until we get done, because we'll be starting to get irritated with him. All right. So with the legs, with the skirt piece on, and it is soft plastic, so you're gonna get really good range no matter what. But yeah, you get some pretty good range there, all the way up. Bend at the knee, and then some. These ankles are better, kind of, than the I'll say the Goku SSJ3, because the Vegito ones were fine for the most part because they didn't have these little pieces down here blocking it. But yeah, you can get some decent range there this time around. Still think that they need to work on that, so we'll see how the Goku Blacks do. Compared to the Demoniacal Fit Goku that just dropped, I would say the Demoniacal Fit one is still a little bit better, even though they do have the thing kind of blocking articulation going both ways. So really it's just only on the inside of the leg, but still it's okay. And then of course you've got tail articulation back here. It's just one piece. Would like to start seeing, a little bit more range there. I know that potentially somebody's working on custom tail, but we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it about this. There's not much I can really say about it other than what I've just shown. The articulation is about as good as the last release that they just did. Again, just questionable things here. Probably gonna glue this in there just so I don't have this problem anymore, because again, it's annoying. But yeah, let's dive deep into the conclusion. I do want to actually show these really quick. I didn't say it in the beginning of the video, but I did buy both versions. I didn't buy the Goku Black one this time around, but this is the black fur version with the different faceplates and whatnot. So I'll open it. I'm not going to put it together yet, but just so you can see what it looks like kind of side by side. All right, so in conclusion here, all in all, I mean, the figure is okay. It's not anything super amazing compared to what they've done so far. I would say it's definitely a leap. They are improving, and we're going to continue seeing that. So I have no doubt that Beast Deities, formerly Kong, will continue to make better products. I think this one just is one of those figures that you buy not to pose and play with consistently, and more so for a display piece, because I don't know what they were thinking with that whole waist torso piece right there. It doesn't make much sense compared to what they've been doing. I don't know if it's for stability or not, but if it is, I mean, I guess it helps, but it doesn't really make sense when it, is falling off like that every time you hold the figure upside down, or just happen to lift it up a little bit and now it's off center or whatever. It doesn't really help. So they've got to find a still middle ground with that. I think that this will more or less be like the last SSJ5 we get for a while. Hopefully. I know Broly is probably going to get one, but like, I don't expect to see that Broly like out for a while, potentially. So yeah, I mean, in comparison to the other SSJ5s we've gotten, it's not as sturdy. It's falling off in the hair, it's falling off at the waist. They fixed a few issues like with the hand pegs falling out and stuff like that, but compared to this, and I think I brought it up like 2 or 3 times already, much more sturdier. I could drop this dude and he's not gonna fall and break to pieces, which is one of the things I admired a lot. Is they were very sturdy. They could not be easily broken, at least from the ones I've gotten. So yeah, if you are a fan of Dragon Ball AF, go for it. Highly recommend staying away from reselling sites like eBay, Mercari, etc. The figure is available on 5K Toys right now. If you can find somebody to buy it, ship it to you, do that. Anything that's cheaper than paying $105, $135, $150, even up to $200 is a better option. So highly suggest, again, staying away from that, because there's no point overspending. So yeah, it's on there. Go for it. And yeah, that is about all I can say about this figure. Beast Deities, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next and how these other figures perform. The Goku Black sound and look really good. The details that we got a few weeks ago look promising. It looks like they're really taking an even greater leap into bringing a fully functional figure that's highly articulated, and for a third party to be able to doing what they're doing is still insane. And there has to be a little bit of leeway there, because this is not an official company. They do not have like a big backing. They are not being paid millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think, to do all this, and they're doing it under the detection of like the big companies, Tamashii, Bandai, Toei, Shueisha, all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty impressive either way. And bringing it up, I would have liked to see Demon Fits Super Saiyan 5 Goku at some point, but I don't know if that's on the cards anymore. It hasn't went up for pre-order since the whole Tablos drama, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But for now, that's pretty much it. I guess I can mention this really quick. The difference between these two, other than this, obviously the fur color, they do have different face plates, and the hair is actually a little bit different. It's darker gray wash and a little bit of black in there. So that's pretty much it between those. They function about more or less the same. So that I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but I might sell it. I might use it for parts, something, right, in the future. But for now, again, if you want it at retail, go to 5K Toys. That is the best advice I'm offering you. But anyways, I'm going to end it here. I have one more review that I'm going to put out this week, and we are ready for Jump Festa. Jump Festa is looking very promising this year with a whole bunch of new prototypes for shfiguarts, and even some other stuff like Amazing Yamaguchi and whatnot, Reveal Tech. So it's going to be a nice weekend covering all this news. So I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.